Welcome back to Sammy's Vodcast. Today we're going to be talking about the impact of DRS on the game of cricket. DRS stands for Decision Review System. It is a form of video review used to overturn and clarify decisions. Mike Selvey, former England international cricketer and current cricket writer and commentator, said the only arguments over DRS should be over how, not if it is used. DRS came about in the early 2000s as slow motion replays were being introduced into cricket. This pursuit of perfection pleased almost everyone and led to more technologies being developed. DRS was first trialled in a game in 2008 between Sri Lanka and India, Virender Sehwag becoming the first victim to fall by DRS. It is important to note that a team is allowed 2 unsuccessful reviews and then they have none left. After the 80 over mark, these reviews reset. In a one-day international, the team is only allowed 1 unsuccessful review. This means that if they keep on reviewing and getting it right, they can review for as long as they want. DRS is broken up into 4 forms of technology. This includes slow motion replays, infrared cameras, edge detection, and ball tracking. Slow motion cameras. The third umpire uses slow motion cameras from every available angle to determine a fair catch if the player has hit the ball, runouts, and if they are uncertain whether it is a 4 or a 6. The next technology is Hawkeye, or known as ball tracking. So it was developed in 2001 and is patented by Paul Hawkins and David Sherry, men from England. Hawkeye was first used in a test match at Lord's Cricket Ground between England and Pakistan, and it was first trialled in the 2006 Tennis US Open. Hawkeye works by the process of triangulation, where the ball is a certain point and there are cameras all over the ground. It then measures the angles from these cameras and the fixed point of the ball. It takes into consideration bounce, swing, the pace of the ball, the direction, the previous deliveries, and then it calculates the projected route of the ball to see whether or not the player is going to be out. Here we have an example of Hawkeye being used in the 2019 Cricket World Cup final. As we can see, the ball is pitched in line and it is missing the stumps, so therefore the umpire has to reverse the decision. This shows a successful review. The next technology is Hotspot. Hotspot uses infrared cameras, 2 positioned at either end of the ground, to take photos and video of the ball. It uses the friction caused by the collision of bat on ball or bat on pad to determine whether or not the player has hit it. The Hotspot takes the video of it and the computer turns it into a series of black and white negative frames, which precisely locates the ball's point of contact. Hotspot was first developed by an Australian company called BBG Sports in conjunction with Sky Sports and was first tested in the 2006-7 Ashes at the Gabba in Brisbane. Here we have Hotspot being used in a cricket match. As we can see, there is no nick on the bat as the ball passes, so therefore the player has not hit the ball. The next technology used is snickometer, often referred to as ultra edge or edge detection. It uses directional microphones planted in the stumps to hear faint sounds to determine whether the ball has hit the bat. Snicko was first used to analyse a nick or a fine noise if it is heard as the ball passes the bat. When DRS was introduced, Snicko was not included as it wasn't deemed reliable enough to use. Snickometer was invented in the 1990s by English scientist Alan Paskett. The microphone in the stumps is connected to an oscilloscope which measures sound waves. Noise filtering then removes ambience, and then Snicko is used alongside a high-speed camera as slow motion, and they measure play the clip and see if there's a noise at the same time the ball passes the bat. A key thing to note is that the umpires do not have the benefit of snickometer and have to rely upon their own hearing. Here is an example of snickometer being used in the Cricket World Cup final. As we can see, there is a nick, so therefore the umpire has to change their decision. How DRS has affected cricket. DRS has had a massive impact on cricket. It has helped to decrease the gap between bat and ball, and Shane Warne reckons that he would have had over 1,000 wickets if DRS had been used when he was playing. DRS has made the game of cricket a lot fairer, with fair dismissals being given now, as players now have power to review decisions and to argue against the umpire. In certain cases, such as ball tracking, the umpire's decision does affect it, as you can have umpires call if the ball is just hitting the wicket, it will stay with the umpire's decision on the field. Overall, I believe that DRS has improved cricket, making it fairer, more even game, reducing the chance of error in decision making, as well as adding a new exciting component of reviewing decisions, which causes lots of debate at home and in the stands. This is also seen, as we will explore later, in India's rebellion against DRS. We are now going to be looking at how DRS is used in an average day-to-day setting in cricket. So DRS is used in training. Analytics take the pitch maps from previous bowling displays and previous games to analyse how the bowler can improve or where they have been successful. Since Hawkeye tracks the ball, therefore the bowlers and analytics can make pitch maps to determine whether they're bowling in the right area. Vice versa, batsmen can use these pitch maps to determine where their hot spot might be, where they like to get a lot of runs, or where a weakness is in their game, and therefore they can train to adapt, and that's what their coaches will use their expertise to figure out from the information provided by DRS and the stats and the analytics how to improve their players' performance. We're now going to talk about how DRS has changed the environment of cricket. Most notably in the cricket world, India have refused to use DRS for many years, meaning that numerous teams when playing India couldn't use DRS. Sanjay Jadel, the Secretary of the Board of Control for Cricket in India, said, "The BCCI continues to believe that the system is not foolproof. The board also sticks to its view that the decision on whether or not to use the DRS for a particular series should be left to the boards involved in that series." The main reason India didn't use DRS is because they didn't trust the ball tracking but agreed to use Snicko and Hotspot while they were happy to. Shane Warne said, "It doesn't matter if you agree with DRS or not. What does matter is that everyone should have to play by the same rules." A memorable moment of DRS should have been used to help India but wasn't because of their rejection was in 2016 when India lost to Australia in a one-day international. The ball hit George Bailey's glove but wasn't given out. If DRS had been used, the decision could have been reviewed and overturned. George Bailey said after the game, "Would have been interesting to see on DRS, but we're not the team that doesn't want it." MS Dhoni, India's captain after the game, said, "But I am still not convinced about DRS." Later that year, in 2016, the BCCI finally accepted to use DRS in a 5-test match series between India and England. Now DRS is used throughout the cricket world and has a lot of success, with India finally coming to use it and coming to grips with it. The main reasons they didn't want to do it was to protect cricket and its integrity from technology and advancements. But overall, we can see that DRS is an essential addition to cricket and is a great part of the game. Thank you for listening.